Cameras up, everyone. Towelliee here with another WildStar tanking video. So the last video, we basically went over a starter level 50 build for tanking. Because of the 8 abilities you can use, there's not so much you can really do with your tanking set. It's basically, it's not fully cookie cutter, but it's to a point where there are some abilities you have to always have on your bars. I know that there's some tanks out there who use DPS abilities like Power Strikes and Rampage to tank, whereas, you know, most normal tanks always use Menacing Strike because that's your kinetic energy builder. And I'm going to go with you, over with you, what I'm using currently for dungeons. Right now, our guild is pretty much preparing for raids, which means we have to go through a 12-step process of, like, basically an attunement, like we used to go through in Vanilla and BC in World of Warcraft. And I must say it is challenging. Currently we are on the step where we need to complete the veteran dungeons in under a certain amount of time while completing objectives and getting a silver medal. So I only have one done, which is Storm Talon. We did Storm Talon in under 26 minutes with all the optionals done, and that gave us the medal, which right here, 25% earn a silver medal or higher on veteran mode in each dungeon for attunement. Next, we're going to be working on Kel'Vareth, and that's going to be hard. I think we have about 40 minutes to do that one, which I think is shorter than Storm Talon if you cut through all the mobs, and you don't wipe, obviously. So it's got a lot of trial and error. Like some of the dungeons, we were going in there, and the second we fucked up, we had to restart the dungeon, which is really good because it's not like WoW where you kill a boss, then you're locked to the instance, and then you can't do it again. So if you fuck up, you can just restart the instance and do it again. It would be really, really punishing if you had to restart from the beginning. So I'm kind of happy about that we don't have to wait a day after we fuck up. But isn't pretty good so far. The guild's doing pretty good. I'd say we have about over like 56, maybe 50 something level 50s in our guild. But here's my house. I put together a nice little target dummy so I could show you guys some stuff this morning. And let me go over the abilities that I'm using currently for my dungeon tanking set with my amps. I'm still obviously using Menacing Strike to start off my kinetic energy building. Does a lot of threat. I have also changed the way my abilities land. Instead of currently just slapping one over and over again, you can probably hear me hitting that number 1 button. What I did now, I didn't even know this existed. There's an option that says hold to continue casting, which is pretty awesome. And I like it because for me, sometimes my thumb starts to hurt from smashing my Naga for my Menacing Strike and my other abilities. So now all I gotta do right now, I'm currently just holding the 1 button. I'm holding 1 and it just continuously casts Menacing Strike, which I think is good for tanks because you always want to keep your Menacing Strike above 750 kinetic energy for the rest of your abilities and for a lot of your amps. So I found this to be very, very useful since that's the only ability that I would need to hold my button for. And I can also hold it for my other ones. So I did cave. I went into Polarity Field. I know in my last video I said Polarity Field wasn't the shit, but now it's the shit. It's a good pull mechanic, or good pull ability, excuse me. So like as I'm going up to a boss or whatever, I just like, you know, hit Polarity Field, and that just starts an insane amount of aggro on the boss. It does generate, I believe, 130% threat. What I did was I went into tier 8 because tier 8 allows me to gain the defense while standing inside it, and it increases armor by 7% of your current maximum. So that's pretty good. My maximum is like 11k, so I'm almost getting 1,000 armor just from standing in the field itself, which lasts about, how long does this last? Like 10 seconds. And tier 4 obviously creates a field around 2 foes. So that's pretty good. So I went into Polarity Field there. I kept Bolstering Strike because you kind of need a little something to help you out, you know, with mitigation, getting your shield back up. I see a lot of tanks. I know Zyback, he uses, what is it called? Shield Burst? He uses Shield Burst, which deals 922 technology damage to 10 foes and restores 922 shield, and it actually builds kinetic energy, and it's only usable after your shield is depleted. So that gives you 922 technology damage. Bolstering Strike deals way more damage, and it also restores a bigger chunk of your shield on a lesser cooldown. which is weird. I'm trying to figure out like why you would use one over the other. Let me see. Is it the tier 4? Well, tier 4 restores a shield to 4 party members within 10 meters, and applies overload, disables shields for 2 seconds. I'll have to look into that more, but I mean, just in terms of like shield restoration, I would imagine that Bolstering Strike restores a bigger chunk of your shield and does more damage currently, I believe. Yeah, according to these stats. So I'm going to stick to Bolstering Strike for now. Grapple. Grapple is... They changed Grapple. Apparently Grapple was interrupting armor and pulling the enemy towards you, even while it still had interrupt armor on it. So nothing really changed. It still interrupts armor. What I do with Grapple is, depending during trash, I'll get into the tier 4, which makes the charge count to 2. So I get like 3 total with my kick. And during a boss fight, you know, we all coordinate our interrupts pretty good. So I just get rid of that and go back into my Atomic Surge and get to the tier 4 and Atomic Surge for more damage. And then we have kick. Defense grid, still there, obviously. As long as you stand inside the circle, reduces damage taken by 21%. It's like a godsend for your melee during any fight. Atomic Surge, still like it. Generates a lot of threat. Only usable after deflecting an attack. The more gear I'm getting, the higher my deflect rating is getting. So that's really good for me during trash. Sometimes I'll swap this out with another ability like Atomic Surge or Bum Rush for a boss. It's very situational. And then Power Link. I didn't really want to get into Power Link because you should always have someone in your group like a warrior who has Power Link. But in the event that the group that you're running with doesn't have a warrior, I have to have a Power Link. So I could have put my amp point into something better for survival, but I guess I deal with it. But yeah, my Atomic Surge tier 4, it's an additional deflex, increased damage dealt by 130, stacks 5 times. So it's a lot more damage, basically. So it's really good when you're fighting trash, because sometimes, you know, warrior threat, until your gear gets like really amazing, your threat's just not really there right now. So once again, any criticism you guys have for me, by all means lay it on me. I would love to hear other builds or other thoughts. In terms of what I'm gemming for, or my Elder Runes, or Rune gemming, right now I'm going for a lot of armor, as you can see in my slots. Armor, tech, deflect rating tech, armor, armor tech, tech armor, deflect rating. So I'm basically going that route. I have a few rune sets or bonuses that I'm trying to work on with air slots. One is protect your neck, the other one is lingering charge. I could explain that in some other video, but yeah. So well, look at that armor, pretty nice. All right, so let's take a look at my amps. So with my amps, I went with heavy support into utility, obviously hybrid support utility. So I'll tell you what I went into. So obviously increased deflect chance by 3%, and then I went and got support power increased by 7.5% if you get all 3 of these, and then increased deflect critical hit chance by 2. This is basically like the defense rating of WildStar. So the higher this is, the less likely you are to be crit by the boss. There is currently no statistic, no number as to what the exact percentage you need so that you can stop, I guess, applying this to your gear. So then after I unlocked these, I went into the tier 2. I got full force, which is landing a hit has a 50% chance to grant threaten. Threaten increases threat generation by 25%, can only occur every 15 seconds, but it's 8 seconds worth, so it's really nice. People tell me that the MK2 battle suit's really good. I don't know, man. When taking physical or technology damage, you have a 10% chance to restore 1150 health, can occur every 3 seconds. It's a 10% chance. I don't know. It depends on how many times it really actually procs. Seriously. It could be good. I might think about going into it in the future. But instead I went into kinetic buffer. So while above 500 kinetic energy, gain a defense. Defense increases all resistance by 9%. That's really, really good. Defense, this is full defense. That was kinetic buffer. And full defense is once again above 500 kinetic energy, gain a defense. Increases deflect and deflect critical hit chance by 5%. So that's really important. That's why you always want to keep your kinetic energy above 500 at all times. And then into the last tier, I got Bolstering Strike. Honestly, Bolstering Strike should be like a tier 2 ability. And one of these, maybe like I don't know, I'd say kinetic buffer should probably be up here. But other than this, I would have taken To the Pain. To the Pain is something I'm going to have for rating. This is a very rare amp to get. I don't know many tanks on my server that have it. But basically, taking damage that would kill you instead restores 20,000 health, but drains 1.9 K health every 1 second for 15 seconds. Can only occur once every 5 minutes. So it's like an Ardent Defender. I think that the cooldown really hurts this ability, but I still like it for raid tanking, basically. Let's see, what else do we have here? I would take Health Sponge if I didn't have to go into Power Links over here. Health Sponge, basically below 30% health, increases incoming heals by 57%. So once I go back to my rating spec, or once I go to my rating spec, because I'd have to hit raids first, we would want one of our warriors, obviously, to get Power Links, and then I would be able to get into these 3 abilities. So over here in the utility tree, I went into cooldowns. Increases cooldown reduction by 5%. 1, 2, 3, that's 15%. Increases dash regeneration by 7%. I think that's always good to have, which is what, 21%? I'm bad at math. I went to Kinetic Drive. I had to get these 2 abilities to unlock Power Link. So Kinetic Drive builds 45 kinetic energy every 0.25 seconds while sprinting in combat, and unyielding, you can no longer be dazed. And then Power Link unlocks the Power Link ability, which is here in my bars, which is like a Bloodlust for your team. Increases damage dealt by 18.6% for 10 seconds, and it's on a 21-second cooldown. So once again, I mean, I look for that to be nerfed in the future. I don't know if it's just me. Well, I got mail. What I get? More gold selling spam? Hey, look at that. 1 platinum for 3 gold. Woo! All right. And over here in the hybrid assault support tree, we have strike through. Increases strike through chance by 1%. Strike through rating is your hit rating in WildStar. So that's really good to note that you also do need strike through rating. I think it's like 12% that you need, or 7%. But I think if you have an Esper in your group, you basically only need like 2%. I don't know what that is yet. But this is basically what I'm going with for the Veteran Dungeon aspect attunement. So, like, if you're running Veteran Dungeons, this would probably be a really good build. You have the survivability from your Bolstering Strike and your cooldowns, obviously your innate ability. You have your defense grid. You have your threat generating abilities from Polarity Field and Atomic Surge off of your deflect rating. Right now, my deflect rating is at about 12%. Critical hit chance, 14%. Not sure if that's good or not. Strike through chance, I'm trying to get that a little bit higher, but I'm not going to really risk losing defensive stats for hit rating when I have all these threat generating abilities. I'll look more into Shield Burst. I also have Power Auras. There's an Aura Mastery program. I'll leave this up so you guys can like stop the screenshot and do this exactly as I have it. It's a little bit buggy sometimes though. Sometimes it works and it doesn't. So on my target dummy here, basically, I don't know, I'm the kind of guy that when I'm tanking, I kind of have to be looking here. Like when you're tanking in World of Warcraft, there's no telegraphs that you can see. You know, you can kind of move the boss around and not fear that a telegraph is gonna fucking destroy you. But in WildStar, like my eyes are here, and sometimes I can peek down here to see the cooldown of my abilities. But I like creating power auras, so I created a power aura for Polarity Field and Bolstering Strike. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in combat. I'm gonna start hitting my dummy. And you're going to see that Bolstering Strike is now right there as a power aura. So when I hit Bolstering Strike, it'll disappear. When I hit Polarity Field, it'll disappear. And obviously, when the abilities come back off cooldown, the button will appear. So the reason I have it that way is that when the buttons appear, it's an indication to me that it is currently available to hit. So I could get like a lot more maximum DPS and maximum survivability and threat by knowing that because those icons are not on my screen right now, that they are on cooldown and I don't have to use them and I can do whatever else I need to. So that's pretty much, yeah, what we have there. And that's my power auras. My UI is very simplistic. There's not really much to it. Does this show a threat meter when I do this? Oh, it does actually show the threat meter. But this is my, this is called Galaxy. Galaxy is my kind of like SCADA of WildStar. Potato UI is all this shit down here. You can download it, figure it out. I also have a threat meter. Where is it? Threat. No, threat's not working. Threat does not seem to want to work as a. Okay. Alright, threat's not working right now. Well, threat is working, just not here. Anyway, but yeah, so if you guys have any questions, any suggestions for my tanking set, by all means, let me know. I mean, like, oh, by the way, you want to get this kit for your housing. It's called Warhorn. It gives you a hour buff that actually goes with you into dungeons. I'm gonna hit it. Let's see, and it gives you a different buff. It could be like 4% strike through chance. Today I got, there you go, increases threat generation by 8%. That's pretty fucking cool to have a Warhorn. This is my tier 4 mining node area. Strangers in the night, mining in my housing, strangers in my night. Anyway, yep, that's what I'm mining in my own house. Kicks ass about this game. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Look at the size of that Galactium node. Jesus Christ, it's huge. That's what she said. Look at that. It's gonna take me forever just to look at that. It's still going. Still going. Jesus Christ. Go, go, go. There we go. Woo. And yeah, I already maxed out my crafting for my armor smithing. I just gotta, I don't know, man. I wish I could make more money off of what I did, but I don't have much anyway. But yeah, this is my house. I had something here. Where'd it go? I had like a cage with prisoners here. Oh man, don't tell me they got out. What the fuck? Anyway, yeah, that's definitely not, like, my house is pretty shitty compared to other people. But yeah, get a target dummy. Target dummy's good if you want some, like, me time, alone time. Anyway, hammers up. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be uploading this video in a few minutes. I don't know why I'm telling you this, because you'll see it anyway. Gotta go. Peace out. Sayonara. Gotta go work out and do all that stuff because I'm trying to be healthy and shit. Bye.